Third section in chapter 2, and we're going to be talking a little bit about how the convergence of digital media on the web has impacted how we access and use the internet, and kind of what the next step is. So as we've discussed, when you get to the convergence stage, you have kind of a melding of old media and new media. So now we've got all of these different mass media that used to be individual. They're now coming together and all being distributed via the web. So we create things online, we distribute them, we present them. So for example, in graphic design class, they're going to be using Canva in order to create artwork that then is going to be used. In some cases, one of the projects is an infographic, so it's in order to inform different people, and so then you would share that on things like social media. So we've got all of the stuff that used to be in the realm of the maker, who was then just delivering it onto the masses. Now we have that control. And we also have not just a convergence in terms of media, but also in terms of the hardware. So we've got, I don't think you can buy a TV these days that doesn't have some form of internet smart TV capability built in. Our phones obviously are computers. Even dumb phones have a certain amount of smartphone stuff kind of baked into them that you can't take out. And when we think about the fact that a smartphone has many times the processing capabilities as the moon landing computers did, it kind of can blow your mind. And so we've got all of these things baked into each other. Again, I can pick up a phone call on my computer or on my iPad exactly the same as I can pick it up on my iPhone. So we've got this merging. There's no more of a separation between things. So we can access movies on our computers. We can access music, books. My mom has a Amazon Kindle Unlimited account. She very rarely reads new books in paper anymore. They're all online. Gaming through our consoles, and newspapers and magazines. And again, for the flip side, I can use Zoom, I can use Skype, I can use any of these things in lieu of, or in fact on my computer as well as my phone. So there's no more hard and fast line between I get my newspaper as a physical thing, I get my book as a physical thing. Now, while this is great for us being able to get access, one of the things that is kind of a downside is that when we visually see a piece of information, especially text, we identify within a split second if it's a piece of printed text, how much attention, how much time, what kind of reading we're going to need to do. If you see a newspaper article, you see an article in a magazine, you see a journal article you need to read for class, you see your textbook, your eye can discern and set your brain into that reading mode very quickly. There's an erasure of our ability to discern what kind of information, what kind of attention we're going to need to be paying when everything is displayed the same way on our screens. And so you might approach something thinking that it's a really quick throwaway thing, and then it turns out that it actually needs a lot more time and attention, and you're not able to get the information that you need, or you get frustrated. So this is something that we need to, both in terms of as consumers, be aware of. We need to kind of develop that discernment in a new way, but also as creators, build in clues for people so that they don't get frustrated and leave before they get the message that you're interested in. And again, as I mentioned, we have the internet baked into these old devices, this old hardware. And on your smart TV, you can access movies, TVs, music, whatever you basically want. Probably not the book so much, but aside from that, a lot of times you do have a web browser built in. So just realizing that originally these were all very different individual media. So the impact of that has been that as producers, we need to be flexible, we need to be aware, we need to tailor things, we need to give people cues so that they know what they're getting into. Formats, it used to be that even 10 years ago, you wouldn't necessarily have big movie stars appearing in TV, but as we have this kind of premium TV that you get on Amazon Prime, that you get on Netflix, and all those streaming services, suddenly you have this merging between prestige TV is almost like movies, except you have a little bit more time to tell them in. So formats are morphing, and we are expecting to be engaging on multiple manners simultaneously. My last class, I was talking to them about watching a sporting event live on TV, and then, I want to get up and make dinner, so I grab my phone and I dial up ESPN Plus on my phone. I say dial, see, we're using old tech terms. And I'm watching live in the kitchen while I make dinner. And then, I hear from the living room something happening. So we're experiencing it simultaneously. A little bit of delay sometimes, so I hear the excitement of the crowd in the living room, and I look down at my phone, and 2 seconds later, sure enough, there's a goal. In terms of our relationship and how that's then changed, as I'm sure you guys all know, we're using all of these devices as our way of accessing information in a way that perhaps we wouldn't have in the past. And in fact, that means that, again, we need to have that discernment as consumers, because everything is presented the same way to us on something like Facebook. But things like Facebook and Apple, they create what's called like a closed internet or a walled garden. And basically what we mean is, so for a walled garden, you've got all these wonderful things at your disposal. You've got gorgeous plants, you've got fruits and vegetables. What more could you possibly want? Why would you want to leave the confines of this Eden? And so by presenting you what they feel like is everything you could possibly need, then they're trying to dissuade you from going outside of their walls, because then they can make money off of you as long as you stay inside their walls. But when we talked about things that people are kind of reaffirming their views by only seeing things that they agree with, again, these are things that can lead you to not be aware of things that are happening outside. So things like Apple, for example, very much controls what's able to be sold on their stores. And so anything that doesn't fit within their ideas of morals, you can't see. And so again, this can be a problem in places where I mentioned in China, they have, your one size fits all app that can do everything for you. Well, why would you ever want to go outside of that? So then that way they can control the narrative. So just to be aware that these things can happen. And one of the things I'm sure most of us use regularly is this kind of next step of where the web goes. So when we talked about algorithms and the fact that we're trying to kind of use artificial intelligence to get you what you're interested in before you know that you're interested in it, then that's where the semantic web comes in. Semantics is the study of meaning. So for myself, I studied at doctoral level comics. And I looked at how comics create meaning. So I was looking at the semantics of comics. How do the structures within any language create meaning? So the semantic web is about creating more meaning within the web. So how do we organize things so that we feel like we can trust what's in there, so that we're given the best information as quickly as possible? So instead of, this is kind of like the next step for the algorithms. So we're sorting things not just based on keywords. We're not just based on that search engine optimization, but sorting within those things in terms of what kind of logically makes sense to us as humans. So it's using the artificial intelligence in kind of a human way. So again, this is where we get things like Siri, where when you go near a flower shop, if you've told Siri you need to pick up flowers, then when you go by the flower shop, she's going to go, hey, remember to pick up the flowers. Where Facebook sorts things according to your friends. And so things that you like that your friends like, it's going to say, okay, well, this is more of interest to you than something that only you like. So the algorithms are telling us what we want to hear based on these connections. So they're only as good as the connections we make, but also what the algorithm is and how it determines for us the information that we're going to see. And so this is the way that we need to be very good and very plugged in consumers, so that if things are being hidden from us, if we want to see more of something and maybe it's something that our friends aren't interested in, that's where we need to go out and be aware of how these algorithms are shaping what we see. So the Internet of Things Again, that's like your Alexa. That's like a plugged in phone. This is your Roomba you can talk to. This is like Kohler has come up with a new thing where you can tell Alexa that you want to wash your hands. And because of COVID, we all want to make sure we wash our hands for the full 20 seconds. It will run the water at the best temperature so that you can disinfect your hands. Then it's going to shut the water off, and you're not supposed to run your hands under the water again until 20 seconds later. It turns on, then you know you've gone the full 20 seconds. So your tap is connected to your internet, and it's following the CDC's guidelines. When you're in the store, you can ask your phone to look inside your fridge and see if you need milk. So this is where we're going, and this is the next step in the semantic web.